All right, welcome back, everyone. When Patrick awoke that day, he had plans. His world was falling into place, or so he thought. But what he hadn't planned was for the number of his days to be so few. His countdown just struck 0. If he lives through this one day, it's just the beginning. That's the synopsis of the new novel, Day Zero, the Book of Patrick. Take a look at this trailer. Well, the creative force behind that story is author B.J. Hyman, and she's joining us at the table this morning. Great to have you here, B.J.
Thank you.
This is really like a homecoming. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Yes, it is.
You're sort of coming home to WCBI.
Yes, I worked here for 5 years.
And
so, yes.
Maybe the inspiration for some of you, this thriller, you got an inspiration right here in the walls of this place.
Yeah, this is definitely a place that will cause you to think creatively.
Yes. Well, congratulations, first of all, on the book. We're glad you're here to tell us about Day Zero. Let's talk first about the process of writing this book, because as I understand it, it really started out as a screenplay.
It did. Yes, I had always had interest in film, and I had wanted to work in film and things like that. And I actually got my degree in theater and music, and so I started writing screenplays. And this actually, it got a little bit of interest with some producers and things like that, but it's such a hard window, to get into that I got discouraged. I put it in a drawer. I was like, but then, and I actually started writing it while I worked here at WCBI.
So the inspiration did start.
Yeah. But then somebody said, you should write a book, because I was just such a good storyteller, and I said, well, I told them how I'd always written poetry and I'd written screenplays and things. Well, they said, you should write a book. That's an easy thing compared to all that. And I was like, well, okay, I'll try it. And then this
So had it ever occurred to you to write a book, do a novel?
It had, but it just seemed like something like a mountain to climb. It sounded like a, Kilimanjaro when everything else was just hills. I could get those
out. A screenplay didn't seem like a mountain to you?
It didn't, no. My brain just kind of worked in those ways. And, so, writing a novel just seemed like something that was almost insurmountable to me. But then, once I started doing it, it just started kind of rolling, and I had my moments where I was starting and stopping, and I couldn't. I work full time, so it was difficult for me to get going, and at times. And then November is National Write a Novel in a Month. Month. Okay. And there's this thing on it's got a website, NaNoWriMo.org. It sounds silly, but hey, it helps a lot of people. And I decided that my sister, she's also a writer, and I challenged her. I said, okay, I'm working on a novel, you're working on a novel. Let's finish them.
In a month.
And in a month. And so we both finished our novels that month.
Did your sister already have but you sort of had the basic idea?
Yeah, I had the outline. She did. She did as well. She had an outline that she had tooled around with for a few years and just had not knuckled down to do it. And so we cheered each other on and got a lot of people on Facebook to follow us and cheer us on and things like that. And so I completed the novel in November.
So at the end of November, were you completely happy with everything that you had? I'm sure there was
there was a lot of editing. Yeah, that was,
of course.
Yes. Yeah, lots of revisions after that. Yeah, and moments of despair when you're thinking, oh, it's just terrible, but it. Whenever it was good, and it was funny because when I was writing it with that time frame, there were moments where it just kind of flowed out of me like water. It felt like somebody was actually giving me the words and my fingers were just typing them in.
So did you choose a part of the day where you did only writing, like exclusively, nothing else could happen?
Yeah, Jim, my husband, he would say, I would tell him, I said, okay, I'm writing now, and he would close the doors off where I was, and he'd go do something else, and I would sit there and I would write, and then whenever I'd exhausted everything that I could think of for the time,
stop.
I would
return
stop
to the real world.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're intrigued by the trailer. We want you to tell us, give us a little bit more of what Day Zero is all about, kind of the inspiration for the story, and we'll do that when we come back and tell you how you can get the book. Stay with us.